So today I'm joined by father and daughter team, Riyadh and Mariam. They're coming to us from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and it's a great pleasure to speak to them both. Riyadh, Mariam, thank you for joining us. How are you both today?
Well, wonderful. How are you, Simon?
Very well indeed, thanks. Very well. Tell us a little bit about what life is like in Kuala Lumpur on a Saturday evening.
Well, it's wet. We have just we are just coming back from a long holiday from Chinese New Year. So this part of the world, it's been a long holiday. So it's good to start a fresh new week on a Saturday speaking to you.
And it's great to have you both here as well. Mariam, tell us a little bit about how your Saturday's looking. What have you been doing today?
It's been great, honestly. And I just spent a lot of time talking to my friends because it's a Saturday. And many of my friends, they came back from holiday. And yeah, it's great. Just talking to them, relaxing and I do a lot of running as well.
Yeah, we did a 5-kilometer run today.
Yes, it was really fun.
5-kilometer run, that's very impressive. That's really good. Now, Riyadh, before we get into the real heart of this podcast episode, I'd love to understand a little bit more about your family. Can you just give us a bit of a breakdown, you know, who you've got in your family and how long you've been living in Kuala Lumpur for?
Sure. I'm originally Malaysian. My wife is Korean. So we have a mixed kid here, half Malaysian, half Korean. So that is the reason why ever since she started to enter schooling age, we were thinking whether to send her to either a Malaysian school or a Korean school because she's dual national. So we end up having to decide that it would be best for her to get an international education. So we started her with an international education, and teaching her both Malay and Korean at home would be better rather than having it to be taught in school. So her first language would be English, and that would be the language that we all speak at home. And she has been attending a few international schools in past years, and ever since then, it's been great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Up until the pandemic happened, that made us change about, whether we are going to continue with physical school or to look for an online school. And that's how we end up at my online schooling.
I see. Right. So tell us a little bit more about that then. When the pandemic came along and Mariam was at a different school, is that right? What was the process that you all went through as a family?
She went to a few international schools because there are a few criteria that we were looking at. And it depends on the teacher that taught her. And my wife was quite particular about the quality of teachers, especially international school teachers. And also the type of students, whether they are passive, whether they are contributing to the class or not. And that is the main factor that made us want to choose which international school to send to. But when the pandemic happened, all teachings went online. We found that traditional schools are not able to deliver good online education. And that's the reason why we thought that, we may want to look at the alternative of schooling. And we've looked through a few international online schooling. There are a few experienced ones with a very long history of delivering teaching online. But it's not really to our liking because kind of one way where the teacher speaks alone and the students are not allowed to turn on their camera. They can't really speak, right? And it's like turning on a YouTube. I mean, you can just learn from a YouTube. You don't have to really pay a school fees and listen from one teacher to speak and not being able to contribute. So with my online schooling, this is really a godsend that it is run by young professional teachers who are passionate and they are technologically savvy. They understand what are the needs of a real online schooling is. And she's been having fun ever since.
That's awesome. Riyadh, thank you for explaining all of that. It's great to hear that from a parent point of view, but I'd love to understand from a child point of view. Mariam, tell us a little bit about what it's like being a pupil, a student at My Online Schooling.
It's been great so far. Like, to be honest, it's really good. I have a lot of free time to do my own studies, and the teachers really provoke my thought process. And we have a lot of discussions, and we also talk a lot in the chat box, because usually in school I don't think we'll be able to chat, but of course we don't talk about off-topic stuff. But we do discuss a lot in class, and what I love is that we have breakout rooms, so where we get to do group projects, and it's really cool. And also in My Online Schooling, we get to create a lot of things. I guess, but that's something that all schools share. We all get to create things like projects, stories, and yeah.
Mariam, tell us a little bit about these breakout rooms. I'm just thinking, if there are people listening to this right now and they don't really understand how these breakout rooms work, tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, sure. In Zoom, there is a main room, and then if you're the host, you can create a breakout room. So like a breakout room is just another room which is not in the main room. So think of it like as a living room, and then when you go to another room, like a physical room like this one, and you get to talk with your friends, and you get to share
without
your screen.
teachers, right?
Yeah, but the teachers does pop in like sometimes to see like how everything is going. But it's really fun as well, and I think most pupils love breakout rooms.
Without the teachers.
Yeah.
So I guess in many ways that's quite similar to how things are in a classroom, when a teacher might leave a small group of pupils to carry on working on a project around a table together. But this is the equivalent, but it's all online, of course.
Yes.
And Mariam, tell us a little bit about what some of the best things are about studying online instead of being in a bricks and mortar in a real building.
It's more flexible. And one thing I love about online school and this online school is that you can view the recordings after class in case you miss some points. So you can watch the recordings, and you can take notes, and you can also view the PowerPoints in case you want to do some revision. And it's really flexible. That's what I love about online school.
Mariam, tell me a little bit about what it's like having children from different countries that you're in a class with.
We get to share different ideas, and honestly, it's very interesting hearing what other people from other countries have to say, because in my school, obviously everybody's from Malaysia. We all live in Malaysia. We all experience the same things, but when you talk to someone from a different country, it's very interesting to hear their language, talk about their culture, talk about how life is like in their country, and like to talk about like their weather, because over here we don't have any seasons, unfortunately, except for like just summer all year round. And it's fun to hear about like seasons. It's fun to hear about playing in the snow, and it's fun to hear something different. Honestly, I like diversity a lot. It's very interesting.
Mariam, which countries are some of your friends from, friends that you've met at My Online Schooling?
Some of my friends are from Malaysia, surprisingly. Yeah, but they're not from the same city. They're in Penang or somewhere. And I have friends from Singapore. I have friends from Thailand. I have friends from Australia. I have friends from Italy, from Estonia, and I have a lot of friends from Russia. And obviously I have many friends. Most of them are actually from the UK because it's My Online Schooling. And I also have I think I already mentioned Italy, but yeah. I have a lot of countries. Possibly more. Yeah.
Can't really remember.
Riyadh, what are some of the downsides of Mariam studying at an online school instead of a bricks and mortar school?
Well, it's not really that many disadvantages, because it's still the pandemic, and schools are still doing hybrid kind of teaching. Some are back in physical school, some are not. although she felt a bit, she missed her friends who are living within our community, who are not around when she wants to play. They are all either in school or they are outside. But other than that, it's been great. We loved it very much because she is quite serious in her running, in her athletic training. So we needed to schedule her trainings in the morning. And that is the reason why we cannot send her to a real physical school in Malaysia, because we should have her running and training in the morning. And then we'll push her schooling schedules to the evening, right? It'll end around 10 p.m. And the rest of the day after her running, then she'll be able to do her independent learning or her homework. And she's also involved in some lab work with a university nearby. We sent her there to understudy with a PhD student, where she gets to experience and get herself exposed with biology, because she loves biology and medicine very much. And she has a YouTube channel dedicated to teaching kids on biology and medicine. So maybe you all can check it out. So other than that, it's been great. Yeah.
This sounds awesome. Biology and medicine. Mariam, tell us a little bit about this and about this YouTube channel as well.
I enjoyed studying biology when I was very young, because I found it very interesting, like how everything works. And it's probably because I didn't really understand chemistry so much, because you had to memorize a lot of things. But biology was really fun, and I also enjoyed medicine, studying medicine when I was quite young. I think I made my first video when I was about 4 years old. Like explaining the body parts and stuff. And my YouTube channel, I mostly post about history, biology, and medicine. That's my main topics, but sometimes I post about a little off-topic stuff. I don't know, but there are a lot of off-topic stuff. And I also have a second YouTube channel where I post...
Maths.
No, I deleted the maths videos, unfortunately. But I started posting random comedy skits, I guess. Yeah.
Excellent. Riyadh, tell us what it's like with Mariam having a YouTube channel. I mean, for some parents, they might be a little bit worried about one of their children being on YouTube. How do you find that as a parent?
Well, it was a bit of an apprehension at first, but we found that she's quite an extroverted person. She's quite a sociable girl. She was on mainstream national TV at a very young age, being interviewed live, and she did it very well. And when she started to speak in public, we knew that this girl we can't really contain her interest, and that's the reason why. We guarded her videos to ensure that not much detail is being told to public, especially where she is, where she lives, what school she goes to. None of that is being mentioned. It's just purely talking about her interests, about what she likes. So it's been great so far. Nothing bad has happened. So we would continue to encourage her to continue this interest of hers.
And Mariam, I also understand that you've been doing a little bit of voiceover work with Netflix. Is that right? Tell us a little bit about that.
It was actually a Malaysian TV show called Bobo Boy. I'm not sure if it's I don't think it's available in other countries, but it is available in Malaysia.
Asia Pacific.
Asia Pacific. But it's very popular in Malaysia, obviously, because it's a Malaysian show. And I think it's mostly in Malay, though there's English parts. And it was really fun recording it. I really enjoyed it, and it was fun hanging out with everybody else. And it was a bit... I honestly really don't like hearing my own voice when it's being recorded and played to me. But yeah, I liked showing my friends that, hey, I'm on Netflix.
Excellent. Riyadh, tell us a little bit about how My Online Schooling has impacted you all as a family and the lifestyle that you have now, given that Mariam is studying online instead of in a bricks and mortar school.
Well, we started My Online Schooling at the beginning of the pandemic, early 2021, is it?
Yeah, January.
Yeah. So I was working at home as well. Well, the only setback is that we'll be sharing the broadband. So sometimes when I have to go online and she has to go online, we both have to increase the speed of our broadband. That's the only sad part of it. But other than that, it's been great because she's quite independent to do her own work, and her mother is around to support her if there's any technical assistance that needs to be done. And she does her own online independent homework. And in her free time, lucky enough, she gets to fill it up with her own work and her running training, athletic training. So it's been great. I would say that it works perfectly well, especially during this pandemic and post-pandemic as well. Now that things are getting better with recovery coming back and things are reopening again, we don't really find it odd. We find it very good. It has really taught her well to be independent, and it really would equip her well for the university days in coming years.
Okay, so that all sounds very positive. And you did talk earlier about some of the negatives. And of course, it's great to understand what the true picture is from a parent point of view, because it's not like this is some kind of an advertisement for My Online Schooling. But tell me, do you think, Riyadh, that all education should be switched to being online for all children?
Well, it depends. It's good that we are living in an age where there is an alternative for schooling. I mean, before this, for parents who do not want to send their kids to school due to some medical reason or reason caused by bully, then they would have to homeschool them and teach them by themselves. But with My Online Schooling, it gives an alternative for this group of parents who fear for their kids' well-being, health, or security due to bullying. They can still maintain that level of education with an online school. So I would say that it depends. I wouldn't say that everybody would like their kids to go to online schooling, because some kids are better off in a physical school because they would thrive in that kind of environment. They would like to meet up with their friends more. They prefer to really play with a group of friends in physical education or whatsoever. But there are some group of students who would require a bit of flexibility, like Mariam, who is into running. She needs to schedule her training. And some of the parents who are travelers or expats who are not really in a long-term tenure in a particular country. I do meet up with many expats who are just they're just posted in a particular country for 1 to 2 years. So it's no point for them to enroll their kids to a proper school, and then when their kids get attached too much in a physical school and they have to leave, it would really be sad for them. So it's better for them to just be in an online environment where they can get to access the school anywhere they are traveling. So it's not for everyone, but it is a good alternative, I would say, for certain category of kids and parents.
That's great to hear. Thank you, Riyadh. And what would you say to a family that's considering, maybe one of the families that you talk about where they might be traveling, or there might be some kind of bullying, or just a lifestyle which is better suited to their child being online, or at least they think it might be. What would you say to a family that's considering it right now?
I think there would be a good option for you to consider an online school. It requires a bit of dedication and discipline on both sides, both parents as well as the children, because especially for younger kids, you really need to ensure that they attend to the online school. You ensure that they log into the classroom. Some of them, they may seem to be in front of a laptop, but they're doing something else. So you really need to supervise them well. Also, you really need to ensure that in their spare time, it's really filled with their independent learning, the things that they need to do. Because unlike a brick and mortar school, an online school, the schedules are not very compressed. So the classes can be, the gaps between classes can be quite big. So you really need to fill up the time with something beneficial for them to do. If not, they will be quite bored. You know, they may need to seek out to find friends. And if there are not many friends for them to hang out with, then they may end up wanting to quit online school. So it depends. I would advise parents to really have that level of dedication and to ensure that their kids are well supervised. Then you will thrive in an online schooling environment.
Sounds like sound advice to me. That really does. Mariam, we need to bring this to a close in a minute. Anything else you want to add about what life is like at an online school?
Kids in my online schooling, they're very friendly, they're very kind, and you can ask their parents if you want to get their contact so that you can talk outside of school, and you can hang out. And honestly, because for me, I can still hang out with my friends in the afternoon. It depends on what your time zone is, but for me, I can. But most days I can't. But I still have friends online, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
If I can also add on that, because we would have to follow the UK schooling days, right? Well, in Malaysia, we have so many holidays. We have the Eid holidays, we have the Chinese New Year holidays, we have the Hindu holidays. But when she has to follow the UK calendar, then it's only Easter, Christmas, and bank holidays. So sometimes we really need to pull her out from school to really attend and celebrate certain holidays. So that is a bit of a downside. But other than that, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good that you've got that control and flexibility to be able to do that. And my last question for both of you, it's 6:30 on a Saturday evening in Kuala Lumpur. What do you plan to do tonight and for tomorrow as well?
We're going for a city run, right?
Yeah.
We are doing a 10-kilometer run tomorrow. So we need
with my friend.
Yeah, your friends as well. So it's Sundays are great in KL because they close up all the roads for traffic. So people who want to cycle and skate and run like us can go and enjoy the road to ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're doing that early in the morning. So tonight I think we're gonna have an early dinner and have an early rest, right?
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow is going to be quite a tiring day.
Yeah.
But that all sounds very sensible. I'm very impressed that you're both doing a 10K run. That sounds very, very good. It really does. We need to bring this to a close now, but Riyadh and Mariam, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for telling us what life is like living in Kuala Lumpur, but also being a family that's making good use of my online schooling and online schooling in general. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful speaking to you, Simon, and hopefully you will be able to visit us in KL one day.
That would be amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.